chaos creates opportunity. Hey, what's up? What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for tuning in again. We are back for another episode of Powerbook. And I did want to go ahead and address some of your questions from before. So Quentin had said, I did hear some people say that this show was has less black people in it, and that they are not fond of it. I disagree, but what's your thoughts on it? So for me, honestly, I'm the type, it just got to be entertaining. Like, I watch things like Ozark on Netflix, which is predominantly white. I don't even think they have any black people, or maybe I've seen one. And I also watch things like Narcos, which is like mainly Hispanic cartel people. You know, I'm not really that into it, but I've seen some episodes and it wasn't bad. I just have so many other shows that I watch that it's just like, whatever. So yeah, I don't care about like the race or whatever, as long as it's entertaining and it grabs my attention. That's what I more so care about. I don't need it to be like a carbon copy of Power or anything like that. Maybe some people, that's just what they're used to with the whole Powerbook series. You know, you got the BMFs with the hood, you know, everybody's mostly black, you know, then you got the other stuff. I feel like Power had so many different cultures mixed into it. And I feel like each series that we're seeing now has different parts of that. You know, like this one has like the Irish that we never really got a chance to see. He spoke about the Polish and the Italians. We did see some Italians in Power as well. So I feel like that's how that is. Another question. No, somebody else has said, Saxon had said, wait, so when did Tommy and his mother move to New York and why? Honestly, I'm not really sure, but maybe they'll talk about it at some point. And yeah, so now let's go ahead and talk about this episode. If you're just joining us for the first time, welcome. I'm Samore. And you can go ahead and press subscribe if you like this type of review, this recap that I'm doing. I have other ones in the works. I'm like trying to get back full force where I have multiple shows that we're going to be doing. I'm thinking about also doing Black and Crew. We shall see. I'm not sure what day it starts yet, but I did see the previews and it looks like it's going to be spicy. So I'm looking forward to that. Also thinking about adding Love After Lockup as well, because I've been really getting into that. I just saw season 3. It's just like literally the first time I'm watching, but it's pretty good. All right. So now, so those are two of the ones that I've been kind of eyeing lately. So now, boom. So now I see that they, in the preview of everything, like when they was showing the before they actually start the show, you know how they, this time on Power, you know, like when they did that, I saw that they actually showed the scene from Liliana from the first season of regular Power when she was in the first 3 episodes. If you guys didn't see that video that I spoke about her and how her rise came, I actually did some research. Quentin, I know that you saw it, but you know, if anyone else has not watched that video, definitely make sure it's the last video that I have posted, where I talk about how Liliana came into play, and just to kind of refresh your memory. But they did show little clips of what I was able to research as well on how Liliana was a part of everything, because I couldn't remember until I looked it up, and then I saw the scenes and I'm like, oh wow, this is crazy. I remember this. It was so many years ago. I'm the worst type of person when it comes to remembering things from movies, shows, or anything like that. Like, I remember the face, but I probably won't remember the scenario. If you try to give me a line, I won't remember. So I would be the worst person to play like one of those games with, because you will fail if I'm your partner. Like, there's no if, ands, or buts. You will fail. So now Tommy, he found out about her secret hiding spot where she had like 10 bricks of the powdery white stuff. So this just boom, you could see like the little what's that thing called, the little light bulb just kind of turning on in his head, where now he has an idea. So now they're about to have like a little bit of a partnership going on. And so yeah, things have definitely changed. He no longer wants to kill her. She kind of wasn't really trusting him. She still kind of needed some convincing, but she's willing to make this money. Like, that trumps everything for her. So, yeah. Vic, he did go ahead and, like, he picked up, I think it was like 3 criminals that were at the jail. I guess they started to get picked up, whatever. So of course his family doesn't like that because it's kind of bringing heat to their organization. But at the end of the day, they do have the crooked cops in their back pocket that they're paying to make sure things go well. So now it's like, how are these people still getting arrested and harassed in jail if we're paying you all this money to make sure things is good, you know? So he wasn't really feeling that. So it looks like I said, that Liliana and what's his name, and Tommy, they have this partnership starting. He came back and she was stripped down to her camisole, her little undershirt, and her panties, and he's like, whoa, like, what's going on here? You're not my type, you know. I haven't seen it with any Hispanics yet, you know. That was more of a ghost thing, if anything. But she was like, trust me, you're not my type either. But I guess that's how she prepares herself so that she can mix things and cut it, because what her plan is to, the bricks that she has is to multiply them and, you know, kind of cut them and multiply them so that she'll be able to make, or they'll be able to make, the most profit. Initially his pitch was, let's do 70-30. At the end of the day, she's doing all the work. She's over here cutting it. It was hers that she stole to begin with. You know, she had to go through all the risk. And he talking about 70-30. She was like, nah, we doing 50-50. And he's like, you know, she's like, I'm not the same person that you met back in New York. Like, things is different. So, you know, now he's starting to see, like, all right, she's a heavy hitter. Like, he already seen that because she definitely was putting up a good fight. She got a little blindsided when he came through her door because she didn't expect that, but you know, she be ready, you know. And now she don't gotta try to pretend and do the cutesy role and then take out the people and them. No, now what she can do is she just does it, you know. She already got the scar on her face. You already know she bout that life, so that's just it. So following that, Jannard, he tells his brother David that he wants to, like, really help out the youth, and he wants to, like, make everything in their little field that they have. I think it was a baseball field, like, just to brighten it up and make it look good, you know. Like, why can't they have what the privileged kids have? And his brother's like not really with it, because, you know, at the end of the day, this is drug money that they gotta use. He's like, you think that anybody cares? Like, you know, like, money has a conscience or something? Like, at the end of the day, it's all green, you know, and they still won't be able to use it. But he's like, I don't know. His brother's like, yo, that same apartment, that place that you staying in, where he's like, the barbershop that you got, the clothes on your back, like, all of that came from the same place. So it's like, you know, like, don't forget, like, how all of this came about. Like, you accepted it. It was good for you, but it's not good to, like, better the community. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I got mixed feelings about that. I mean, you doing something negative, but you turning it into a positive. I feel like more people should do things like that. If you're going to do something negative, at least do what you got to do and then turn it around, create a business, and then switch your life. Like, kind of like a Jay-Z, or, you know, these other people that become entrepreneurs. Like, I feel like too many people, they get caught up in the game, and that's a lot of the problem. Like, they never see an end because they're so, like, now it just, they so heavy in it, you know. They love the respect, they love the thrill, they love the running around and feeling like they're the boss and stuff like that. And that's where things get complicated, and that's where they just fall into the trap, and then they become a statistic at the end of the day. Like, at the end of the day, if you really think about it, like, a lot of people that sell drugs and stuff like that, like, they are literally bosses. Like, just think about it. Like, you're literally manning all these people. You have to put them on payroll. Like, you're paying them out. You have to talk to other executives, you know, CEOs, and you have to negotiate deals and have your unsigned contracts, and then you have to know how much product you have to do here and how much money has to be, it takes a lot. Like, these people are really smart people, but they're just using it in a bad situation that can get them into trouble or dead, but they can be so epic, like, if they were given better opportunities, I feel, and if they had more, maybe like training or whatever. Anyway, that's my little rant about that. So Jannard, he really isn't feeling Tommy when him and his brother was out there talking. He's just like, yo, you gonna still keep on talking to this dude and working with him? And he's like, like, it's like Jannard is like now on this power trip because he's so used to being the dude that's running it for all these years, while his brother was in jail for what was it, 15 years or whatever amount of years that he was in there. So it's like now he's just, he don't want to be second in command, because everybody's been coming to him. Everybody's been reporting to him. What he says goes. Like, there was no question about it if he said something. So now his brother's coming back, and it's like he wants his spot back and this respect back. And it's like now he got to start taking a step back, and he's not really feeling that. So I was like, yeah, this ain't going to end well, because I see how this is going, and I've seen how, a little bit of the egos is starting to happen and stuff like that. So Tommy met up with David and Jannard following that, and Jannard, like I said, he wasn't really ready to give up his spot when they was trying to have like a little conversation at the boxing ring. So now Jannard, he wants to fight his brother. He feels like, he's like, yo, like, we don't gotta do this. He's like, nah, let's do this. At the end of the day, you cannot count out somebody who has literally nothing to lose and has been in jail forever. That's just it. And freaking David almost blocked out and killed his brother. Like, a few more punches, his brother would have been KO. Like, for real. But he kind of like came back to his senses and let him chill for a minute. He probably was getting brought back to his ruthless days that landed him where he was. This is what he was doing, beating dudes up, like, just making them bloody and just having them on the ground. So, this kind of proved like, yeah, David may have been away for a while, but he's still a champion. He's still on top. Heavy is the head who holds the crown, as they does say. But he got it. All right. So now, after this little fight, that just proves that he solidified his number one spot and he's back on top. And later on from that, Claudia, which is Vic's sister, she has to get all dolled up to meet this guy who, I guess he runs he's one of the ward runners or something. I guess he owns the prison or something like that. So she's trying to convince him, because the dad he doesn't know that she's a lesbian. So he wants her to get all dolled up and do what she gotta do. Even if it means you gotta sleep with him, get sexy, get cute, and let him know that he gotta do better. So she says a little hot stuff or whatever. She tells him, and she's very firm. I feel like she's a good business person. I feel like as she gets more and more into the game, I feel like she will become ruthless. Like, I feel like she will be a force to be reckoned with. Like, those big female, like, mob bosses and stuff like that. Like, I feel like she has potential to be like that. But she definitely needs to be out in the field more, because she just be in the office, like, she be trying to talk, but they don't give her respect. And I feel like that's going to be the reason why she really retaliates and kind of decides to do her own thing, is because she's not getting the respect that she wants and deserves from her father. Vic, he just kind of goes with the flow. He doesn't really stand up for her either. So at this point, it's like, why am I here when I can do my own thing? Like, I have the knowledge. All I need is probably the muscle or whatever, which that's where, as we saw later on, Tommy's gonna come into play. But yeah, so she talks to him, tells him, stop the harassment of her family and her family of criminals or whatever. And he tries to talk hot, and he's just like, she's like, yo, otherwise we're gonna stop the bag of money that's coming in every month. And he was just like, he let her know that he knew her little secret. He's like, You eat pussy just as good as I do, you know? Even though he was initially flirting with her, it's just like, yeah, I know your dirty little secret, so don't think that I don't know why you're not, like, trying to do anything with me right now. But trust and believe, like, you need me at the end of the day, because the bag of money that you guys are providing is the only thing stopping the harassment and from things going south for your family. So be sure to remember that. Like, he tried to sun her real quick and put her in check and let her know, like, we are on top. Like, at the end of the day, you stop the money, then we coming for you. But she let him know, like, you know, like, wow, look at your nice little daughter here. Wow, you know, this is an amazing school that she goes to. I would hate to see it covered in dirt, you know, her nice little picture. You know, like, we will kill your whole entire family. Don't forget that. That's kind of like what she pretty much implied without implying. And that really, like, brought him back to reality and let him know, like, yo, you must have forgot who you was talking to, because you trying to come crazy to me, but it's not going to happen. Nah. I was like, okay, Claudia, gave you a high five, ho. See, that is how you do it. You can't let people see that you are intimidated. You have to, you know, have that upper hand, and you have to, you know, represent your family well. Because if that would have ended poorly, then it would have been like a checkmate for him. He would have had his ego like all the way up there, you know. But because she said what she said, she let him know, like, we are not the fam. Like, you must have forgot who we were real quick. You must have forgot. Let me go ahead and remind you real quick. You know what I'm saying? So that's how that went down. But Tommy, he gets Vic and his family to have like a little meet. Oh, I forgot. Tommy and Vic, they had went, like, I feel like Vic always gets himself into like some bad situations, because they had went to do like a little drop and pickup type of situation. Here we go. Tommy has to save him once again. I'm like, yo, Vic is not, I don't know. I just feel like Vic is not prepared for this type of life. And another thing about Liliana, which I forgot to mention, I do feel like she has the, I feel like she could show signs of possibly in the future becoming an addict. Like, she has the potential for it, because when she said she needed a little kick, and then he gave her, you know, she got a little, he needed to sample the product, she sampled the product. You know what the cardinal rule is don't get high in your own supply. Isn't that what I always hear in the songs and on TV and stuff like that? So I think that that's like an unspoken rule. I don't know if that's just a black people rule or what, but they got a little hit or whatever, and then she wanted more. She's like, oh, you know, maybe we should take a little more. And he's like, nah, you will get you a latte on the way, you know, or espresso or something like that. So just her saying that is like, are you able to control yourself? You know, I guess we'll see how that unfolds. Hopefully she doesn't become like a fiend or something, but I feel like it could possibly happen when the next part that I'm going to tell you comes about, which is with the other drug that they could potentially be selling in the near future. That one, if she takes some of that, I feel like she could possibly get addicted, because like I said, she's showing the signs right now of a possible, you know, fiend, from the way she was just like, dang. do you know when to stop, boo? Do you know when to stop? So yeah, following that, like I said, he set up a meeting for Vic's family and David and them. Well, it was just David, actually. David and Tommy. But I guess they have so much bad blood between the two families. Well, not even family, just between him and them, that it didn't go well for the first meeting. I feel like things are going to get better, but it's not going to be with Walter, because Walter is so stuck in his old-fashioned ways. He's like an old Irish man, and he's so thinking about, like, I can't work with these black people, is number one. So he's obviously racist, and he's also like, what will our Italian and Polish friends think, or business partners think, if we're to work with these CBI people? Like, it's just, nah, we can't do this. Victor sees the potential. The daughter sees the potential because this could expand their business that's currently failing. They've lost revenue. She's the accountant and she knows this. But no, he doesn't want to do that. So yeah, it's definitely not looking good right now. And it just ended up with a war of words. And like I said, it's just so much between them, so much history and killing of the two sides that it doesn't seem like it's going to work. So, another thing is that he's already being looked at from the boys in blue. I guess these are the legitimate ones because I seen them like taking pictures of him. They're wondering who he is, who's the new boy in town. Does he work for these guys? Like, what's up with that? As well as the other black dude that went to the barbershop. Now we see that he's in the pocket of Vic and them. So he's another one that they might have to worry about because he's obviously on Flynn's side. So, the Flynn family. So if anything goes wrong with that situation, they're going to most likely send this black cop to go and pick up, David and Jannard or whatever, or mostly David since he's currently on probation. So, honey child, it's just... Then Claudia, she decides to cut Tommy off while he's driving and talk to him, and he seems intrigued by her. I don't know if it's just like intrigued by her mind, or it could also be possibly her looks. I mean, remember, he does like white girls as well, but it was redheads that he was into before. I'm surprised that they didn't make her a redhead because predominantly Irish women, that whole stereotype that you see is usually, the redhead. So when you see somebody who's not with the redhead, it's like, or it's usually like an orangey color, but they call it redhead. It's like, oh, okay. So I'm surprised they didn't make her a redhead. That would have been pretty interesting if they did. But then the plot twist is that she doesn't even like guys. Well, she's either by who knows? Everybody loves everything nowadays, so who knows what she really is? But we've only seen her actually in sexual or have any type of anything with females so far. That was kind of spicy. So but she could be into whatever, who knows? But yeah, like I feel like she was kind of flirting with him the way she was looking at him, but she also, you could see that there was something in the midst, like there was a partnership brewing, It's coming, y'all. It's coming. Now, Claudia, she is in bed with the FDA, literally. Like, the chick that she was in bed with works for the FDA, and their trial for this particular drug failed 3 times, and they realized that this mixture, this concoction, the chemical compound mixture, is too closely related to the powdery white stuff. Therefore, I guess she gave her the recipe, gave her the mixture, the chemistry involved in order for her to recreate it. And this was all for a diet pill that would have probably gotten millions of people addicted, just like the opioid crisis that we are currently in. I remember back in days when opioids weren't really a big thing. And then somehow, some way, they felt like people needed stronger drugs. Whatever happened to Motrin? The crazy thing about it, and I was just saying this the other day, like for me personally, and here I go going off topic again, right? But I remember like Motrin was what I needed like when I had a surgery, right? And it's like now they barely even give those things, or even like Tylenol. Like I can barely use regular Tylenol because it makes me feel some type of way. And now you can barely find like the regular dose of Tylenol. Everywhere you go, it's like extra strength, extra strength. I'm like, dude, what happened to the regular people that have a high pain tolerance and just want a little bit of help, not like a lot of help. Like literally I will take like half a pill and it's like half of a regular dose, and it's like all they want to give you nowadays is these extra strength. Like damn, they just want to get you all doped up nowadays. It's crazy how the government is trying to like addict people, but that's a whole nother topic that I don't want to talk too much about them people because you know how they do. Anyway, so yeah, Claudia, I'm pretty sure she's going to now partner up now that she got this new stuff. You know, she said it's good. She is ready to put it out on the market with her people. She about to start a whole business. You know, the girl that she's in bed with, she I guess she thought it was going to be part of the family business, but she's like, nah, like this is going to be, it's going to be us, you know, you and me. This is what we doing. So this should be interesting. She's definitely, she's about to try to put her own father out of business. Figure that, right? But I mean, that's what it is. All's fair in love and war, right? As they just say. And at the end of the day, he's not giving her the respect she deserves, so she gotta demand it and take it. Maybe if he comes back to her nicely, maybe perhaps she might let him in her business. But I know that she's gonna want to be on top. This is gonna be like another ego thing where it's like, nah, you're not taking my spot. Like, now you gotta listen to what I say. You're not taking over, you know? Like, because I know that that's exactly what he would want to do, especially if it becomes successful. Everybody's using it. He finds out his daughter is the one who's out here pushing it. Like, he's going to try to take control of it, take ownership of it. And then when he dies, her creation is going to go to the brother. Like, are you crazy? Nah, so she definitely needs to make sure she secures and patents, do the street patent, let everybody know this is her thing, you know, and not give out that composition, chemical composition to anybody. But that's my thoughts. Let me know what y'all think down below. I look forward to reading your comments, and I'll see y'all on the next one. And this following Sunday coming up, I will not be doing my weekly review, but if I get a chance, I might do it during the week, but I don't think so, because I don't like doing really late reviews unless I have a problem with my computer or something, which is rare. Sometimes the internet be acting up, but I try to have it up for y'all within no more than like a day. So yeah, it's like I said, I'm going on vacation, taking some time to myself, and my birthday's February 26th. Once again, Pisces, we out. All right, you guys, I will see you guys on the next one. Laters.